growing up, I still can remember vividly the name Senator Franca Afegwa, one great Nigerian female senator. But again, we still have a lot of women making, foray into politics. And I had a sit down with Ireti Kingibe, who's an aspiring, senatorial candidate from the All Progressives Congress in Abuja. And our conversation has to do with women in politics. I'm blessed to have a lady with us to talk politics and national development. Joining us this evening is Haja Ireti Kingibe. So good to have you join us this evening on Political Stew.
Thank you.
Well, I've seen a whole lot happening in our political space, and there were times that everyone had thought that women in politics in Nigeria was a big topic because we seldom, saw women coming into the fray. But quite lately, I think we've seen many women making incursion into politics. But first, let's get to meet you properly. You are an engineer.
Yes, I am an engineer, civil engineer. Graduated a very long time ago from University of Minnesota. I practiced engineering, worked with the Nigerian Air Force, Lodigiani Construction, New Nigeria Construction Company, a lot of companies. And then got into project management with, as a private company, a partner, we were consultants, Kelnick Associates. And then now I'm just self-employed, just work on my own. And in between, I'm a politician. I would like to call myself a change agent. Want things to be different.
Well, it's actually something that I really want us to talk more about, and that has to do with your life as a politician, because many Nigerians have been asking questions of politicians, especially now that we have women who are coming into politics. Perhaps let's talk about your incursion into politics. I saw you were first with the ANPP, and you moved on to the PDP, and now you are with the ruling APC. How has it been so far?
Well, I've always been in the sideline of politics prior to 2003, because my husband was involved in politics. But 2003, I remember one day just generally complaining, and he said to me, it's easy enough to complain sitting in your comfortable sitting room, So I said, okay, I think I'm going to go get involved. I went and registered with APP then it was. It had not become ANPP. And I registered only because I wanted a platform to air my views. And then they merged and became ANPP, but it never crossed my mind to get involved in elective politics. And I remember I was in London, then Senator Gbenga Aluko called me and said to me, the incumbent senator of FCT is looking for a woman to run after her. And a lot of us suggested you because the qualities she said she was looking for. And I told him, I said, oh no, I don't know how to be a senator. He goes, aha, it's easy to criticize us because I'm always calling, writing, complaining about something or the other that they've done, but it's not easy to do. So that sort of pinched me. And I said, okay, give her my number and let's take it from there. I spoke with her. She asked me if I was registered to vote. I said no. She said, oh, no, that's the first thing we must do. Please come home and register to vote. So I came, registered to vote, went back to her and said, I've registered to vote, what next? She gave me a list of things to do, told me to go to my ward. Basically, she guided me. And I was like, how do you get me to be a senator? I don't even have a ticket. And
what we're talking about here, Ireti?
Yes, Senator Ireti Abdulrazak Gwadabe. She was the incumbent senator at the time. And she put me through the ropes, guided me with regards to FCT, and she was very, very much in the background. But without her, I could never, ever have achieved the success I did in such a short space of time. Because from the time I registered till the time of the elections, I think it couldn't be more than 4 months. And I also told her, I said, I don't have any money. She says, oh, don't worry, we won't need any. So she did whatever she needed to do. I didn't give anybody any money. The first time I met the AMPP state chairman was when he came to tell Ireti Gwadabe and myself that the party had decided that I was going to be their flag bearer. So off we went. Guided me anytime I run into something that frightens me. There was once some other man came out that he was running for Senate and ran to her. I said, oh, no, 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 maybe I should withdraw. He might be very powerful. She says, no, no, he's a political lightweight. Don't worry. When there's a problem, I'll let you know. And that's how we went. And we picked up momentum. And as she said, she wanted to give her structures to somebody who could run with it. And since then, after that, I think she sort of retired from elective politics anyway, and I have continued. In 2006, my husband came back and joined the PDP. At first, I was kind of reluctant because I think...
Because you didn't move with him immediately.
No, I didn't. They kept at me for a while. I was doing a lot of things for him in the background, and I remember the PDP people, when they come for meetings, they would like make snide remarks. Madam, are you a consultant for us or something? And even when he went to get his card, a lot of people were, you're not getting it. He said, no, she's in a different party, different constituency. And then later he talked to me. He said, you know, it'll be kind of neater if we're in the same party. It doesn't make sense that you're in one party, I'm in another. And I complained that I don't think they'll like me in this place, shall. But anyway, I moved 3 weeks to the primaries of PDP.
Well, why did you think you didn't think that you were going to be liked when you moved?
Because when I was AMPP, one of the things, in truth, that motivated me to join politics was because I didn't like a lot of what was happening at the time. So obviously, I gave interviews, I complained, I criticized, and since that was the motivator for getting into the political space in the first place, is I didn't like what the government at the time was doing about a lot of things. So it didn't make sense that we would get along that well. But I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. And I did. I joined, and I must say, in 3 weeks, the other thing that I didn't like that PDP did a lot, instead of letting the people decide, they always had government candidates and anointed that they've already picked before the primaries, and they go out of their way. So there was such an anointed.
But I thought every political party in Nigeria, they do that.
Yes, but it should be more subtle. It shouldn't be blatant. You know, I mean, if I want you to win and I can give you a lot of support, but if I have to physically go out and start beating up everybody, then that's not, considering we're all supposed to be in the same party. Then I ran against Senator Sidi Ali. Senator Issa Maina was at the time the incumbent senator, but he was fifth. So I figured that maybe his structures were not that strong. I don't know what the problem was. But at the time, it wasn't a simple majority as it is now. You needed to have a clear win, which Senator Sidi Ali did not have. So we had to go to runoff. Now, PDP also had a rule that when a man and a woman have to go for a runoff, you don't do the runoff, you give it to the woman. But of course, because they really had decided he must be the candidate regardless, so of course we went for the runoff.
I never knew there was such a rule.
Yes, they had. You see, when they're saying affirmative action for women, there are lots of little things they put in place that should bring out more women. But most of the time, they're not implemented. The only thing that's implemented very easily is you don't pay for your forms and things like that. But all the little bits that could help are not really implemented. Anyway, cut a long story short, Sidi Ali went on to become the candidate. Then we went to elections, but a lot of us were upset about how blatantly the party worked against us, so we didn't work for the party. and the party lost the election. Senator Wowo, Jibril Wowo, who was in AMPP, we went and worked for him, and he became the senator. But
you didn't think there was an anti-party, as they would put it
oh,
then,
yeah.
because you didn't give your support to your party,
No, I didn't
to your
give
party's candidate.
Yes, because I was not happy with the selection process, not because it didn't select me, but there should be a certain amount of fairness. And well, maybe I shouldn't say, well, they complained a little bit afterwards, then decided we should have reconciliation, since obviously we wouldn't all be so upset if upsetting things had not been done to us. So we continued. Jibril Wawo was senator for maybe, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years, I'm not sure how long. The party PAC was not on the ballot. And so the candidate went to court, and the courts annulled the election, said they were marginalized, and asked us to redo it. When we redid it, Senator Sidi Ali became the senator of FCT. Subsequently, I ran again, the next time against Senator Aduda, this time also, he was the government candidate. And we got to the fields at about 7 a.m. We didn't do the primaries close to 7 p.m.
Why do politicians like the night, the dark?
Because I think that's when you can
Because we come in
manipulate
daytime and everyone is all set, maybe cameras light and everyone is ready. You're there, you're hopeful, and the next minute it draws into the night and it draws into midnight, and just before daybreak you hear that someone has emerged.
Well, that's the way it is. I'm hoping that Nigeria, we will evolve. We are evolving. Things are getting better. And I'm running again. So in 2014, I was running. And then they had meetings. And when they went for of course, the same, the delegates are ordered, you must elect the government candidate. Now, for the House of Rep elections, especially on the other side, the people did not agree to elect the government candidate. And to get them, the people conducting the elections, to announce the guy who actually got elected, he used thugs, he scattered the place, he injured people, he turned the place upside down, basically frightened them into announcing the results of the election. So after that, there was a meeting saying, well, if somebody came to me and said, Madam, I just attended a meeting where they said if the people for your senatorial elections, if they do not obey and elect the government candidates, they should beat you up, blah, 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 a whole lot of stuff. And he says, well, Madam, we don't have any thugs. And then we had a meeting, and they said, well, Madam, unlike the other guys, you don't have thugs. How do you implement anything? How do you stop the violence? How do you counteract anything? So I gave it some thought, and I decided that if we're going to degenerate to this level, then I shouldn't be in the PDP. So I gave a press conference at the time. I decided I was from the race and I was withdrawing from the party. I was not having anything to do with them. And then I didn't immediately move to the AMPP, or the APC, which it had become. But at some point, because a lot of people from AMPP were in
the APC.
In APC. Also, when AMPP had broken into two, I had been in talks and was part of the people who had gone on to create AC. Though for certain reasons I opted not to join AC, but the AC of FCT was created from my house. The cards, the register, everything was done. So I also knew those people. So a lot of people in the merger, at least in FCT, were my people. They knew me very well. So last minute they called me and said, oh, Madam, let's go run. I said, no, I can't run in a party I just joined. I don't know anything. In any case, they insisted. I thought, okay, fine, there's nothing to lose. It's the day of primaries. We did all the paperwork, and I ran. And I think I got a third of the votes. I came third next to everybody else who'd been there before. So everybody's like, well, Madam, if you can do this in being with the party in one day. But I still didn't mind.
So now, sorry to cut you. Now you're running again
in the same
in the APC.
Yes, I'm running again
for FCT's senatorial seat.
Yes,
and you're contesting against an incumbent senator you had contested against before.
That is, if I get the APC ticket, yes, I will contest against him for the general election. But right now, I have to go through the primaries.
So what chances do you stand in getting the ticket of your party for this election?
Well, I think the chances are very good. For one, APC is fairer. There are no government and anointed candidates.
You're very sure of that?
Yes, I'm sure of that. Listen, the FCT, and definitely the Minister of FCT has promised fairness. He's definitely not going to come out blatantly beating up the rest of us for a particular candidate.
Kingibe, I think, are you sure you're not, going ahead? Because you're too fast to think that such assurances, because this is not the first time we've heard such assurances from party leaders over the years. You read a lot, you go through the papers and you hear of party leaders who have assured everyone of free, fair and transparent process in primaries. But at the end of the day, we get to hear people who complain.
Well, let's put it this way.
Because there must be something you have seen that has given you this assurance that
yes.
You might want to share that.
If you know the FCT minister, he's a very straightforward person. That's number one. Secondly, the other thing that makes me more comfortable in running, in this, I'm running against Senator Issa Maina. I'm running against Senator Jibril Bowo. They have both been senators of FCT. They have records. And as you can tell from my continued participation in politics, regardless of the fact that I've never been allowed to proceed forward, I'm not a do or die politician, because I believe politics is a journey. It's not a destination. It has not stopped me from working for the people of FCT. It has not stopped me from feeling passionately about this constituency. And I also know that as things are getting, as it's getting more and more difficult to rig elections, you need to bring out candidates that are credible, that are liked by the people, that the people will work for. And I, with all due modesty, if nothing else, it would seem normal that the people of FCT would want to give me a try, considering they've tried all the other ones that are running against me to begin with. And then for the general, if I emerge, for the general election, Aduda has been senator for 8 years. Usually, after a while, you would have reached your level of incompetence, no matter how competent you started off. FCT as a territory would also require a change.
I'm asking what difference you hope to bring to the table, because if you look at history, going back in time again to Senator Khairat Gwadabe, she had an office where she could easily talk to her constituents, but it would seem as if over the years, not just only in FCT, so many other states, some senators have failed to have such offices where their constituents can actually have a one-on-one rapport with them. What would be that thing that you hope to take from her leadership, or to add to what Philip Aduda is presently doing, should you emerge victorious going through the process and ultimately after the election?
Well, one of the things, for one thing, I do intend to have a constituency office. I do intend to be a very accessible senator. Even as a politician, of all of us men, maybe it's because I'm female, of all the people who are running, who have run for Senate, or who I will say at the senatorial level, I'm the most accessible. And I also think a lot of it has to do with being female. There are certain things I can't just walk away from. If a member of my constituency really, really does need my help, something makes it very hard for me to just decide, look, I can't be bothered. I do turn around and do something about it. Secondly, Senator Aduda has been more focused on just his tribe, the Baggies. FCT has so many other tribes. when we talk about the indigenous tribes, they're the Gade, Gwandara, Koro, Gana Gana, Basa, and I could go on. They are there. They need to be represented. Then there's also the Igbos, the Yorubas, the Igalas, the Thieves, the Idomas, the Ijos. All those people need to be represented. And that's where I feel I would be different from Senator Aduda, in that I intend to become the senator for the whole of the territory, not for my tribe. Even when you tell me, write your tribe, it's difficult for me to say what tribe I am, because I don't have any. Officially, I can tell you my official state, but other than that, I'm part Yoruba, part Igbo, part Hausa, part Fulani. So, which tribe am I? So it makes me, in my opinion, a better representative for the FCT, because I am the symbol of Nigeria. FCT is a mini Nigeria.
So I'm looking at what more you could do for the people. And one of the things that I realize is when people get in there, we're talking about true representation, and there's a constituent, a body of constituents, which a lot of people over time haven't actually tried to look at, and it has to do with the youth.
Yes, I agree.
And I've read up, some of your other civic duties and responsibilities, which of immense benefit to the youth. How do you bring them into focus should you get into office?
Well, the youth empowerment is one of my passions. It's one of the motivators for me for wanting to be a senator, especially of the FCT, since the senator of the FCT can work very closely with the minister to achieve a lot of things, maybe much more than other senators, since there are 3 of them and one in the FCT. There's so many empowerment programs that can be funded from the CBN intervention fund, a lot of them, but individuals cannot access those funds. It has to be done by the states. I have actually 3, 4, 5 programs that I've been working on, even as just plain me, that I would not like to talk about now, but that I will instantly start implementing. Secondly, one of the things that I've always promised the people of the FCT, I don't know how much a senator earns, but as I say, I'm an old woman.
You really don't know how much they earn?
Not specifically, no. But whatever it is that a senator earns, as I tell the people, I have other sources of income. I will share the senator's salary into 2, and half of it I'm going to use as some sort of a fund for the youth of FCT. Maybe you need capital for something small. There was once this man who needed just 287,000 naira to start up his shoe business, and I found it for him, and the difference was so much that I was shocked that such a small amount of money could make such a difference. So there are a lot of things that I can do. Obviously, I wouldn't know until I get there, but to start off with, I do intend to give them the best representation. I'm a mother. My youngest child is 28. I want to assist in my own small way to create the kind of Nigeria that makes them want to stay here, that makes them proud to be living here, as opposed to, earliest opportunity, I'm off, or I got a job in South Africa and I'm going, or I got a job in Singapore and I'm going. That I want the jobs in Nigeria to be more attractive than anything you can get anywhere else. And FCT, is the seat of government. It's the face of Nigeria. So much can be done in FCT, pilot programs, a lot of things that you can use FCT as the pilot for how it would work in the rest of Nigeria. And I intend to work very hard to make sure that that does happen.
Haja Ireti Kingibe, many thanks for speaking with us on Political Stew.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure to be here.
Well, it's a wrap on the show. Many thanks for watching. We decided today to go out of the political kitchen and go all out. And that's what we've been able to get. Don't forget to follow our social media handles and get to follow us on the show. By the way, we're still keeping our eyes on SARS, and the news making the rounds is that the acting president has asked for an overhaul, even as we've just been told that another journalist has been arrested by SARS just a while ago. We're hoping that we'll keep our tabs on all of that on Political Stew. Many thanks for watching. We're out.